If somebody is probably sitting outside, standing, can you please call them inside because it's going to start. Shall we start? अच्छा ठीक है. Spandan, can you come either this side or you're exactly behind the camera? I can't see you. And even person sitting in the last. Yes, that's better. That's better. Yes. Recite after me. शङ्कारूपेण मच्चित्तम् पङ्कीकृतमभूद्यया किङ्करीयस्य सा माया शङ्कराचार्यमाश्रये. So, we're talking about the language, the importance of it. You see, when a child is born, there are some milestones. Though there are many milestones, one of the vital parameters is speech. How well does the child articulate all the different sounds that emerge? Are they exactly clear with respect to the language that the child speaks? now denotes the health of the child also. That is, I'll give you an example. See, sound and the activity present in the body, they go hand in hand. You see, whenever the word la, the letter la, okay, the letter la is a little late. The letter ra, r is a little late. Ha is late. Ha. A comes. Ha is late. Ya is late. Okay? Va is late. Okay? You know what? These five denote the Panchabhautik composition. So, people who have a little bit of the puja paddhati, so there is something called as Panchopachar puja. Okay? Panchopachar puja. Puja that can be done in five simple forms, simple ways of doing puja. Okay, it's called Panchopachara, where I can do the upachara of God, whoever, Ganapati, Subramanya, Shiva, Vishnu, whoever. So I can also do puja in these five ways. Lam, La is denoted by the Prithvi Tattva. Prithvi is the earth element. Okay, La. Ha is denoted, it denotes Akasha. Okay, Yam, Ya is that of Vayu. Ra is that of Agni. Hmm? Va. Huh? Huh? No, some is last, no? Huh?
Lam, Vam, Yam, Ram, and some.
Vam, some. लं पृथिव्यात्मने गन्धं कल्पयामि, हम आकाशात्मने पुष्पं पूजयामि, यं वायुवात्मने धूपम् अघ्रापयामि, रम् अग्न्यात्मने दीपं दृश्यामि, वम् अमृतोपहार नैवेद्यं. So these four denote Prithvi, Akasha. For all these, Ambu is the Tattva. Ambu is water, is the Tattva. The base. You know why? Everything is present in Prithvi. For the Prithvi to exist, the base is water. Even for prana, what is the base for prana? Eh? Water. Why? Why? Who said that? What did you say? Correct. Very nice. Yes. Both hydrogen and oxygen are components of water, both actually help in combustion. So, if there is no combustibility factor, then Agni doesn't get kindled. Okay? Agni, according to the Upanishad, is Agnim Vak Bhutva Mukham Pravishat. Agnim Vak Bhutva Mukham Pravishat. That is, whenever a child is born, immediately the oxygen, the nasal through nose, the first time it takes the oxygen present outside, it goes and expands, the lung expands, and there is the fire gets ignited. The moment the oxygen is supplied and it expands, immediately there is a sound. Okay? So, if you really doubt, is this really happening? Is there fire? Yes, there is fire. And I'm sure you all know there is sound in fire. Yes or no? I'm sure everybody, each one of you know there is sound in fire. But is there fire inside us? Yes. How do we prove? How do we know? How do we experience? No, that is all that is book from listening. How do I experience if there is fire? Temperature?
When you breathe out, then the
Hot air. Acha.
body is warm.
Body warmth. Okay. That now
So when we die, the prana leaves, then the body becomes cool.
these are all from inferences, na? Acha.
But it's an inference. You infer from that.
Correct.
Anuman Pramana.
Okay. All of you close your ears. I will give the instruction completely, then close your ears. Okay. Close your eyes, close your ears, and just concentrate on what is going on inside. Okay? Close your eyes and close both the ears. You don't have to take the help of your hand to close your eyes. So just close your ears tight, not that it pains, just close your ears and observe what goes on. Close your eyes also. Okay. What happened?
Sound of fire and
Correct. Hana? Flame. Correct. As if some big engine is going on. Huh? Hana? That is the existence of energy in the body. So, as and when the child starts growing, the para pashyanti madhyama vaikhari, it starts forming the way how it has to be according to the need of the object and interaction. So, first and foremost thing, only few letters come. Slowly, when the adhyasa starts developing, adhyasa means the knowledge of I as this body, okay, is adhyasa. What is the word meaning of adhyasa? Adhi asa. Adhi is here, asa is me. I am here or I was. Asa is I was here. I've already been there. So with that memory, adhyasa is paratra purva drishtavabhasaha. Something that I have already seen. Eh? I have not. This is not the first time that I am this body. I was also earlier. I am going to be again. So I even now I am there as this body. So the entire language is for whom?
For the one who identifies with the body.
Who? Me.
Me.
Me. You know what is the word used in Sanskritam for me? Aham. Aham. ठीक है. So the language starts with a, ends with ham. Aham. You know the beauty?
Yes.
It starts with a. The cry starts with a, and all activities happen entire lifespan. When the need for language diminishes, the engine inside starts slowly coming down. The sounds, the alphabets, the pronunciation, everything starts coming down. Okay? First and foremost, teeth fall. Okay? You know why? Because teeth, dentures are required to chew. And if you don't chew, it doesn't get digested properly. So if it doesn't get digested properly, the blood will have more toxicity. So nutritious blood cannot be supplied to the brain. If that nutrition doesn't go to the brain, the language center or the speech center will not work properly. If it doesn't work properly, then you can't speak properly. ठीक है? This everybody knows. This is a particular sequence. So when the child starts speaking, it means its digestive power slowly gets enhanced gradually. When as and when it starts eating properly, playing, activity, etc., speech also starts coming. ठीक है? Then there is a lot of interaction for 50, 60, 70, 90, whatever years. Slowly, when the time decides that it is nearing the end, then the need for it is not there. So slowly what happens, the dentures fall. Then eating comes down. Then the sounds come down. Then finally, you know what happens? That the mouth closes. There is no more sound in the end. You know what I'm saying? Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It started with there is a cry in the beginning when the child was born. In the end, from birth till death, aham as body exists. Okay? Through nama, through language and interaction, vyavahara. In the end, ha means that anuswara is closing of the mouth where there is no sound. Sound ends. Okay? So this akasha which carries the sound is present in all other elements that you should remember. In all other elements, in Vayu, Agni, Up and Prithvi, but the sound, the decibel level or the resonance comes down as and when it approaches Prithvi. As and when the gross becomes more, sound goes less. You know what I'm saying? Because, see, something that is very concrete, okay, has less sound to travel. Whereas Vayu, because of its spans, there is more sound that can traverse. Okay? So, the entire body has been designed, okay, and the language which falls in line with that, the sound which arises is due to the Agni which is present inside. Okay, now you understood or not? Anybody who did not understand? Okay,
अग्नि वाला और पार्ट रिपीट कर दीजिए अग्नि
you see, the Agni, the energy present in the human body is proportional to the sound. Okay, if you eat well, you are able to speak. Suppose you take out food from you, finished, you can't speak. Yes or no? Huh? So, simply if you eat, you cannot speak. If you have to digest the food also. So, which means to say the digestive capability in the form of acid is what you call enzymes, etc., etc. They are all in the form of Agni. They are hot. Okay? Okay. Now, that particular thing is what digests, makes it absorbable to the human body, and sends that particular oxygen which contains the blood, which contains that oxygen, the nutrition which is supplied to the brain, through which the speech center understands, decides, and then speaks out in the form of sound with respect to that object which is there outside. Okay, now you understood? Acha. So the letters which arise have a very particular specific origin, because every sound, collection of letters which form a word, have a particular artha or the meaning. Artha means object. Artha means what? Object outside. Okay. Hathi, there is an elephant outside. Hathi is inside. Okay. Now for Hathi, I have to say Hathi only if it is elephant. If I stop at Hath, then it is different. If I stop at Hath, it's different. If I say Hathi, then it is different. So this Tha and E and all that have to come from specific places of origin in the oral cavity. Okay. So it is exactly designed from where what sound comes in Sanskrit. Okay. A ku ha visarjaniyanam kantha. A comes from kantha. Okay. A ku ha comes from kantha. Like that. There are a lot of other sounds which come from different places of origin. So, which means to say all jnanendriya sense organs which have to understand the meaning of the object, the sound and artha are placed here. Are you understanding? Sense organs which understand through sound, they are all placed here. That is why in Lalita Sahasranamam, श्रीमद्वाग्भवकोटैकस्वरूप मुखपङ्कजा Vagbhavakuta is this Vagbhavakuta is the face. Okay. So even if you see, you close this, you cover the entire face, you cannot know who the person is. Huh? Even if you cover the entire thing, you remove the face, then you are able to see. You are able to understand who the person is. See, so jnana, vak, artha, all these are present here in this area. All karmendriyas which get driven by the intellect in the form of sound are present other ways, okay, which act. So there is a very a beautiful connection between Samskrita, which means what is Samskrita? That which has been processed properly. Okay. So the processing has to happen, has to fall in line, which is this is the language which denotes the origin of sound and the object. There is a beautiful link which is always there between the object, the person, and the self. So this particular link is not present in any other language because there is no basis. The basis for any language has to be Sanskritam. That is because the origin of Sanskritam is as old as the Vedas, as old as Bhagavan himself. Are you understanding the sequence? Are you understanding the sequence?
Can you summarize something?
That is, whatever the object is, now if I ask you, why is this a tumbler? Okay. Can you give me any basis as to why you have termed this a tumbler?
Well, tumbles over.
Why? If it keeps tumbling, then you can't drink at all.
Basically, the origin of the word can only be traced back to Sanskrit and say why. This
Exactly,
word is
yes. The adjective that is given to the object and the stuff and the activity it does, everything is denoted earlier from the time when it is there. I will give you an example. Jagat. Everybody knows what is Jagat. Hana? What is exactly what is the meaning of the word Jagat? Jagat means earth. Hana? Yes or no? Earth is an English term used for Jagat. But why is it called Jagat? Any idea? Why is it called Jagat?
Jayate gacchati tishtiti.
Huh?
The word Jagat has come from
Huh.
Jayate, Gachati and Tishtati. It's
Perfect.
about that.
Yes. So, First and foremost, it is born. Ja. When you say ja, it is jayate. That is, it is born. What does it do after it is born? There is gati. It keeps moving. Till it is there, it only keeps moving. There is activity. There is gati. So that which keeps moving once it is born is Jagat. Such a beautiful arrangement, na? है ना? So you see, if you understand like this, from where it has originated, then you will be able to understand the object in its entirety. You know what I'm saying? So it is very, very, very important. Very important. So in Sanskrit, that is why your pronunciation is very, very important. Very important. Huh? You say hum pha. Huh? Pa and pha. Pa and pha. No? If you say phala, what is phala? Phala is fruit. What is pala? If you only say pala,
Moment, second.
huh? No,
Second.
stone. Huh?
Section.
No, pala. No, pala is mamsa. Huh? Pala is mamsa,
Flesh.
flesh. Pala is mamsa. Phala is fruit. Okay. So what I'm saying is, the object and the origin of sound has to sync. It has to fall in place. So that is why Bhagavan said, tasyantar manasi kamas samavartata idam srijeyamiti yadvacha vadati tat karmana karoti. When it is said, the sound, rather the speech, has to arise from Paramatman himself, from within. It has to come to the mind as sankalpa. Then the buddhi has to do nishchaya. Then the vaikhari vak has to come. As to what? With respect to the teeth, the throat, the tongue, etc. All put together. Which the other person also understands. Okay? That is when there is an interaction. Otherwise, there is no interaction. There is no interaction. If you show somebody like this, pointing a finger towards an elephant, and simply say like this, what will you understand? You tell me. Can you understand? Unless that particular thing of elephant has been told in the form of sound, you will never be able to understand. Okay? Now, why Sanskritam? Why not other languages? When you understand what exactly is Sanskritam, it means your mind and buddhi has been processed in line with the origin of sound and the object. Origin of sound is Bhagavan himself, object is the Jagat. Okay? So if you start practicing speaking in Sanskritam or recitation in Sanskritam, then your mind, intellect, and your body, all that will fall in place as to how Prakriti is. How is it linked to health? Okay? Two things. The health of an individual is assessed through sound. Okay? I'm sure we all know. in medical practice. We palpate, okay? We take a thing, try to palpate the knee joint and things like that. What is the kind of sound, okay? Then we put a stethoscope, listen to the sound, etc., etc. So basic sounds also denote the health. When a person speaks, okay, automatically when there is low sodium, huh, the speech changes. है ना? All these we know. So which means to say sodium, you know what is sodium? Sodium is fire. Yes or no? Huh? Sodium is fire. Okay? Which means energy basically. Huh? So sound in Ayurveda, all the secretions are, whenever I say Agni, exactly you don't see the kind of Agni that you see outside as fire inside. Na? You see that particular heat and which metabolizes, which breaks down the food into smaller absorbable molecules in the form of secretions, enzymes, bile, etc., etc. So that is called as pitta in Ayurveda. Pitta. I'm sure you have heard this term, no? Pitta.
Yes.
Huh? So Bhagavan Sushruta says, न खलु पित्त व्यतिरेकात् अन्यो अग्निरुपलभ्यते आग्नेयत्वात् दहन पचनादिषु. What does it say? It says, न खलु पित्त व्यतिरेकात् अन्यः अग्निः उपलभ्यते. You see, there is no other Agni other than Pitta present in the body as far as metabolism is concerned, because of the Aushnya or the hotness, the temperature that is present in the digestive juices, okay, which digests the food. So don't think there is some other Agni present in the body. Okay. Now, you see this energy of Vak, when it says Agnim Vak Bhutva Mukham Pravishat. Huh? Mukha is mouth. So I told you, whenever Agni has to act, what does it require? Huh? What did you say? Vak? No. For Vak to come out, there has to be Agni. If Agni has to act, what should it have?
Oxygen.
Huh.
Water.
Vayu.
Air.
Vayu. So, Vayu enters through the nostril, ignites, and there is a sound coming out. For a baby, first time. Similarly, the same thing even for anybody. Because we are all breathing, it means the oxygen, there is a supply of oxygen continuously. The moment you go into water, you see what happens. When you're drowning, try to speak, let me see. You can't. Okay? So it is very important that your nose should never be blocked from the oxygen supply. So there is a very beautiful connection between Agni, Vak, and supply of oxygen, Vayu. So that is why for the secretions to get supplied, it has to flow. When you say flow, there is gati, there is movement. Wherever there is gati, movement, there is Vayu, which is oxygen. Okay? Simple. This is not big ununderstandable science. Very simple science. Okay? So, Bhagavan himself says, Namaste Vayo Tvameva pratyaksham brahmasi. It says, He Vayo, Tum pratyaksham brahma asi. You are the pratyaksha Brahma. Okay? Because I'm able to see all the activities is because of you. Okay? So the same thing is what Bhagavan Krishna also said in Bhagavad Gita. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritah Prana Apana Samayuktaha Pachami. Me as the Vayu, Prana, etc. Vayu, I am digesting everything. Because of this, you are able to speak and act. Okay? So, Samskrita will do a lot of samskara to you. That is why when you scold somebody in Sanskritam also, the other person he's not really hurt. You don't insult anybody in Samskrita. Please understand. When you say somebody moodha, huh? When you say moodha, you know what exactly is moodha? Huh? What is moodha? Huh? 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 You know what is moodha? Moodhatva means covering. Covering. That is, your jnana is covered. As if you close a lid. Moodhatva. So because your intellect has been closed, you are not able to understand. This is all what is moodhatva. Because the jnana is not being percolated there, no, that expression is called mood. That's all. It's a simple thing. It is unlike, it is not, it doesn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't hurt. So basically, it's a kind of samskara to the mind, to the body, etc. Whenever you're pronouncing specific letters, the Agni is being utilized properly. Okay? I will basically stop with this particular thing with respect to language. How it does is the same thing. What happens with respect to samskara? What is samskara? Huh? Samskara? Bhagavan Bhashyakara defines samskara in Brahma Sutra. Samskaro hi nama samskaryasya gunantaradhanena va apanayanena va. He writes. Beautiful, precise definitions that Bhagavan Bhashyakara. Whenever I say Bhagavan Bhashyakara, it is Shankaracharya. Okay? So it says, what is samskara? Samyakkritam. Properly processed, properly done. So, what do you mean by properly done? Acquiring good, removing negativity. Something that is wrong, removal of toxicity or wrong negativity, acquiring good. Why? You have to continuously enable yourself to, there should be an upliftment of yourself as a being. Now, that is the purpose of life. That is the purpose of life of every individual, that you get promoted continuously. There should be a promotion. Okay? There should be an upgradation. That is what Bhagavan says, Uddhared Atmanatmanam. You have to strive for your own upliftment. First from speech. Okay? Okay. Any questions with respect to this? I am going to go to the Veda. Any questions? Yes.
आपने कहा था कि जो पंचभूत है वो पंच उपचार से मैच होगा, वो आपने वन टू वन कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंस बताई नहीं थी, संस्कृत में सिर्फ श्लोक बोला था।
अच्छा, लम पृथ्वी का है।
लम मतलब
Lam अक्षर ला, lam is that for Prithvi, that denotes Prithvi. Okay, so that is why when you say Ganapati, huh? Lam is for Ganapati, Lam Bija is of Ganapati. You know that? Huh? Huh?
Say Mooladhara.
Ah,
Lam is for country.
Lam is for Ganapati. Okay, and Mooladhara is of Prithvi. Mooladhara is Prithvi Amsha. So Mooladhara is this.
वो आप चक्र को बता रहे हैं।
हाँ, same. Mooladhara, Chakra, Prithvi, Tattva, everything is one and the same. Why? That is because whenever you see a child, slowly when the Prithvi Tattva is becoming stronger, the physical body, slowly when it starts attaining strength, the first thing that it does is, how do you know that the baby is strong enough? When it sits. When it sits on its own, without wobbling and falling down, when it sits, that is when your Mooladhara is becoming stronger. That is why my father used to say that you should not simply jump too many steps whenever you have to achieve something. When we were in school, he used to constantly tell us, so you have to patiently be very patient enough to slowly climb one step by step. So he used to say, you see, when a person is lying down, if he suddenly stands up, he will immediately fall down. When a person is lying down, he should turn, he should sit and then stand up and then walk. ठीक है? So a child, how does it? So when the Mooladhara becomes strong, it sits. It is Lam Prithvi Atmane. Ham Akasha. Yam Vayu. Ram Agni. Okay, these are the four. Then it becomes Naivedya.
Vam Amrita.
Huh?
Vam
Amrita Tattva Atmane is Jalam. Jalam, that is of Naivedya. Amrita Tattva is Jala. Sam Sarvatmane. Sam is Sarvatmane, for everybody. So for the same Atman who is everywhere. This is the Panchopachara. So whenever they do jap and all that, all these things have to be taught by Guru. You cannot simply read and do. So there is a way how to do all these things.
जैसे जो रेगुलर पूजा करते हैं स्वामी जी बताते थे
जी।
तो धूप आगरा पे आमी वो कौन सा तत्व हो गया, मतलब धूप जो हम देते हैं और फिर
यम वायु आत्मने धूपम. हाँ.
वायु हो गया,
हाँ, रम अग्नि तत्वात्मने दीपम.
दीप हो गया,
हाँ.
और जो हम नैवेद्य देते हैं वो कौन सा,
वम अमृत तत्वात्मने
आ गया,
नैवेद्य आ गया, हो गया.
पांच भौतिक तत्व में अमृत तत्व का मतलब क्या हुआ?
अमृत तत्व जल.
जल तत्व, अच्छा अच्छा। और बाकी तो उपचार कौन से हैं जो आकाश और उससे वो जो हम
आकाशात्मने.
तो आकाश, पुष्प आकाश हो गया,
हाँ.
और
गंध हो गया, पृथ्वी का गंध हो गया, गंध हो गया.
अच्छा, चंदन जो होता है
चंदन.
ठीक है, समझ गए।
हाँ.
So, going back to the topic of language, see, even in my professional life and normally, so sometimes I tend to ponder that, what's the purpose of language is basically to communicate, right? So, do we tend to overemphasize the importance of language sometimes? I'm not saying Sanskrit or I'm saying anything, but if at the end of the day the purpose of language is to communicate, then mastery over something should basically be whether you are able to communicate to the other, because the need is to communicate.
Correct.
Right? And the perfection or these, the other aspect basically lead to infighting or all of those things in the feeling of across all languages. So how do we kind of balance that in today's world.
Okay. What is the difference between Sanskritam and all other languages? You tell me.
We just spoke about that, right?
What? So when do you use all other languages? Rather, why do you use any other language? What does it help you? How does it help you?
Every word has a vyutpatti in Sanskrit,
Huh.
but they are not linked in other languages. The word and the meaning are not linked. In Sanskrit, it is linked through the definition.
Correct. All these we came to know now. Correct. But so what I'm driving at is it is not wrong in the interactive world today to use any language for that matter. Okay. Basically, it lights up the object and interact, and there is a phala out of that. This is what we want. Yes. If this is all we want, then you can use any language. Okay. It is not wrong. If I lead my life just like a human being, like any other animal, okay, then what is the thing common between an animal and human?
Ahar, nidra.
That's all. There are only 4 things. Ahar, nidra, bhaya, maithunancha, samanyametat, pashubhihi naranam. So, any person leads a life only with 4 things. Yes, please. Pardon? Yes, please. Ahara is food, nidra is sleep, bhaya is fear, maithuna is physical intimacy. There are only 4 things that which is common between human and an animal. Only 4 things. Common. If you are leading a life only like this, then it's absolutely no problem. Any language is used, even they have their own languages. You know that? Animals also have their own languages. So they communicate differently. Okay? We communicate differently. That way it is not a problem at all. But there is a difference also which you have to understand between human and animal. All of them have intellect. Even animals have intellect. But the utilization of intellect between an animal and human is there is an opportunity for a human to understand what is right, what is wrong, to give away wrong, to acquire good, and to get promoted not only later, now also. Okay? That particular opportunity is absent in animals. They will only lead a life only to eat, sleep, and conjugal bliss. Nothing else. Nothing else. So they don't mind eating their own babies. It is true. It is true. So the moment an animal falls sick, it knows it is the end. Because the moment it falls sick, it is the food for the next person. It simply eats away. The same animal will eat the other animal. This is what happens. That is why there is so much of discipline in animals in the forest. Do you know that? You know what I'm saying? A lot of discipline. There's a lot of respect towards nature. The way how it eats. Very, very disciplined lifestyle it leads. Because if it is 20 years, 100 years, it knows it has to survive on its own. There are no doctors who will come. Okay? So it leads a very disciplined lifestyle. Paramatman himself sitting inside will guide. ठीक है? So in human, Jantunam narajanma durlabham atah pumstvam tato viprata. Jantunam narajanma durlabham. This narajanma, which is there, of human being, is very, very, very difficult to get. Because God has given you an intellect to discreetly think and decide what is right and what is wrong. There is somebody to guide, somebody to learn. So language is very, very important. That way, Sanskrit is the most important. Yes, please.
I think if I understood his question correctly, is that if language is only a source of communication, why give importance to a language and not to the other language?
Huh. Now you understood? Yes. So from wherever we are, we have to keep one step ahead. We don't have to give up everything and start learning Sanskritam. No, that's not what I'm saying. But we should not give up. Don't forget from where you have come. So, to the best possible extent, try to learn Sanskritam. Today, little bit, that's enough. नेहाभिक्रमनाशोस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते न इह अभिक्रमनाशः अस्ति. So whatever you do now, it will never go waste. If the intent is towards Paramatman, okay, it will never go waste. It goes to your own account. Okay. Now the language of what to do, what not to do. Language is the basic thing. What to do, what not to do is termed as the Veda. Language, okay, in the form of knowledge of entire thing of Jagat is nothing but the Vedas. Vedas means with this knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of everything of the Jagat and the doer and what needs to be done, what will come to you. All these things is in the Veda. I hope.
One quick question.
Yes, please.
The speech that we use also has a phala,
Of course, yes. Of course, yes.
in the sense that if we talk in English
Huh.
versus Sanskrit.
Yes, of course, yes. Of course, yes. Whenever you see, acha, now you go back, you think. When your own great grandfathers used to speak in Sanskritam, there was a time when everybody used to speak Sanskritam. What was the way how they used to lead life, the way how they used to dress, the way they used to converse, respect, the kind of respect towards animals, fellow beings was totally different. Okay. Now you see slowly when there is a change, okay, any meaning as to it denotes a particular object is different. What this is a when you say mummy, what does it exactly mean by the word mummy? Any idea? Mummies are there is a different meaning to mummies also. Now, how do you use the same thing to your own mother? You know what I'm saying? So, whenever you speak of any language, immediately language is attached to an identity from where it has come. Simple. So, you tend to automatically behave like that. That is the power of a language. Please understand, that's the power of a language. Any language for that matter. Do you know, in Israel, even today, the moment you keep your step in Israel, if you want to stay there even for 3 months, you have to learn Hebrew. Otherwise, they will not allow you to stay there. They will never allow you to stay there. You first learn the language and then you work. Because they know the effect of a language. The existence of an object is with a particular sound. Is with a sound. So you see, when you do this, when you pinch, ah, then this fellow is alive. Huh? Pinch a corpse.
So, but when we see how Puratan Sanskrit is,
Huh.
have all languages not come from Sanskrit in a manner?
Yes,
And
they have all come from. They have all come
modified
from.
forms.
Huh?
They are all modified forms of Sanskrit.
Correct. Now, modification happens not only in sound, in action, in culture, tradition, everything changes. So basically, Sanskritam leads you to yourself. All other languages lead you towards Jagat only. Jagat only to matter in an interactive way, where all my aim is to simply lead a life like an animal gloriously. I will lead a life in a glorified way and simply go one day. That is all. Only for the sake of communication and interaction is one language. Sanskritam like that. There is samskara. That's what I said. So there is an impact on the mind. There is an impact on the physical health of the body. Right from there is an impact. That's the importance. Okay? Vedas. Vedas speak of two things, karma and jnana. The entire Vedic literature is in Sanskritam because you know why? Because it has come from Bhagavan himself. Who has to tell you what has to be done? It is the CEO of this company who has to tell you who has to do what. है ना? Which is the company? Jagat is the company. CEO is Paramatman. So who has to be a what? What he will decide. है ना? So depending on what you have done, you will be designated with ABC profiles. You will simply act. Don't question. When you have been given the role of a senior manager, you don't ask why you have been given senior manager. You simply do the job of a senior manager. Because you were a manager earlier, you worked very well. So he decides and gives you the role of a senior manager. And then you simply be happy and start working accordingly. Yes or no? Right. No, this action part is what is all of Karma Kanda. And this is where I do everything and attain materialistic happiness. Okay? What does the Veda say? The Karma Kanda teaches you what karma should you do. Okay? And there is a particular vyavastha. Okay? There is a particular vyavastha. There is a system in Jagat. And that particular system is called Sanatana Dharma. Can you all repeat? Okay, very good. When you say Sanatana Dharma, the words, one is Sanatana, other one is Dharma. What is Sanatana? Eternal, right? Sanatana is Purana, is very, 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 very old. Huh? How old? Nobody knows. It's so old. That's all. Okay? So, which is always, no, that is Sanatana. So, who is attributed with this particular term Sanatana? Who has been attributed with this Sanatana? Huh? God Himself. God Himself. Kevaloyam Sanatanaha. So Sanatana is that term which is used for Bhagavan also. So when it says of Sanatana and Dharma, whenever you use the word Dharma, please understand it is activity. there is activity. Dharma means dharanat dharma. Can you all repeat? Dharanat dharma. Now, that which holds anything is dharma, it says. I'll give you an example in simple science. There is a solid molecule. Huh? Molecule, solid. If you take a solid molecule, there are many, many atoms in it. So all the molecules, all the atoms in a solid have to be solid molecules only. Number one. Number two, you see, what is the meaning of the word solid? Is compactness. Na? Absolute compactness. So, at the outset, we see that the solid object is not moving. It is stationary. जो घन होता है ना, जो भी द्रव्य घन होता है ना, तो वो चलता नहीं है, इनर्ट ऐसा हो. But do you know that in a solid object, molecules there are constantly vibrating? Do you know that? This is science. If the molecules don't vibrate, it cannot hold all the molecules as being solid. ठीक है? The most compact substance also, there has to be an activity, there has to be a movement in their own way. Otherwise, they cannot hold themselves compactly. Okay? So, that particular thing which holds all the molecules in a solid form is called dharma of that particular object.
Even in the stone.
Even in the stone, yes.
So, but that would not be movement, or would it be the forces which hold?
No, there is movement. There is movement. What do you mean by vibration? Vibration means is very subtle movement. Spurana. It has to be there. Eh?
Microscopic movement.
Microscopic movement has to be there, otherwise it cannot exist.
When we talk of dharma, would it not be the force which is making?
Correct, Amma. Yes, correct. Exactly. That's exactly what I said. I think when I mentioned that, you are there. That particular force which holds that particular all the molecules together through that particular subtle vibration is dharma. Okay? So, being born as a child is its dharma. Dying as an age-old, debilitated body is also dharma. It is that dharma then, it is this dharma then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So-
activity regulate the activity.
Yes.
Dharma regulate the activity.
Yes. A regulated activity. The vyavastha, the force that keeps the entire universe in its place from the time of its birth to death, through any interaction to give result according to the interaction is dharma. Yes.
Then what is adharma?
Very good. Okay? Very, very good. So this is why I want an interaction. So, dharma and adharma, okay? means how do we understand what is dharma, what is not dharma? Huh? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Correct.
Basically,
Understand?
activity is dharma. And
Ha.
then
No, activity. No,
the
no, no.
language, yeah.
Ha. No, no. So what is adharma? How do I understand?
Unregulated activity becomes dharma.
Pardon?
Unregulated activity.
Unregulated activity? I will tell you. Same thing, slightly different way I'll put it.
The activity is not dharma. The force which binds the activity is dharma.
Correct.
Activity
Correct. Correct. So that is why dharma is nothing but Bhagavan himself. Okay? You see, there is a person who eats gulab jamun. There is a need. He is hungry. He eats gulab jamun. Immediately after about 10-15 minutes, he gets energy. He is happy. Okay? This is dharma. There is a person who is a diabetic who knows he is a diabetic. He eats gulab jamun. After 10-15 minutes, there is itching, uncomfortable feeling in the head, tightness, burning sensation in the skin, and all that. Why did it happen? Because of adharma. If, I will tell you, if the activity that happens within or with that leads to sukha or an equilibrious state of oneself, no, that is dharma. If it goes beyond that, if it gives you unhappiness or disturbance, it means that gulab jamun was not required at that particular point of time because it contains sugar which is already excess in this physical body, and if it comes into interaction with this physical body, it undergoes a disturbance. Okay, now that was adharma caused by the doer. One second, please.
So how do you define soul?
How do you define sukha? Beautiful. Yes. So, sukha is whenever there is an interaction with any object or a person, when it simply tries to make you calm and be contented with yourself, when there is no aberration, that is sukha. Okay? Now, if you yearn for an interaction with the same object again, it is preeti. Okay? A desire towards that object for the second time. Suppose you develop the same thing the fourth time, it is called abhishwanga, which means it is a disease. Again and again, if I desire to be with that, thinking it will give you sukha. You see, when equilibrium is restored, is established, it is always sukha. Nothing happens. The object comes to me, and I experience, I take that object, it blends with myself and gives me sukha, which means it doesn't disturb. Okay? This is sukha. Whenever this crosses a particular limit, so when I start going behind that object for the second time, it is because of preeti, longing. Okay, I go again. That also exceeds. Huh? If it becomes in excess, it is called abhishwanga.
So like that, all love would be Abhishwang.
Yes. When a person says, if you die, I will die. Huh? Nobody dies like that. Nobody dies like that. Simply, you are my soul. All these are only vacharambhana. Huh? Huh. Okay.
So by inference, the definition of dharma and adharma would also probably change depending on timeline or number of times you do it. For example, when let's say somebody smokes.
Correct.
The first time he smokes, he gets sukha, equilibrium. But if he smokes again and again,
There is
gas
a. Huh.
will get if he's only smoking for the first time, that is dharma. If he's smoking again and again, it's the dharma. Is that I'm taking a very rudimentary example. I'm saying
No, I will take that example only to tell you why that should not. Smoking is one thing. Smoking is not wrong. What you inhale as smoke is very important when it comes to dharma. Okay? It says, बालार्को होमधूमश्च युवास्त्री निर्मलोदकम रात्रौ क्षीरान्न भुक्तिश्च आयुः वर्धनम दिने दिने. So what should you do to have a good lifespan? It says, balarko, get exposed to early rising of the sun. Homadhumascha, whenever they keep doing havan, because all that you offer there have a lot of medicinal importance. So the dhuma that you take from that particular havan is very good. Homadhumascha. Yuvastri, whenever you marry somebody or younger to you in age. Okay? Yuvastri, nirmalodakam, have a very clean, pure water. Okay? Ratro kshiranna bhuktischa, if you eat milk and rice in the night, you will have a long lifespan. Again, contrary to that, it says preta dhumascha. When it comes to dhuma, preta dhumascha, if you inhale the cremation fire, the smoke, it is not good, it says. Similarly, ratro dadhyana bhuktischa, to eat curd rice at night, it says your lifespan comes down. Why? That is because it says curd is an abhishyandi ahara. It contains a lot of fat, so you are not supposed to eat so many things. Okay, like that. So it is very important as to what you do. So Shastra says you smoke, but what should you smoke? Not that disturbs you. That is why you see when you take madhyapan, liquor, alcohol, it contraindicates. Why does it contraindicate? That is because you also have to understand the strength of the object, not only your need because you want to smoke. You should understand what it basically does to you when it goes inside. When it goes inside, it basically, there are 4 stages. It says first it will stimulate, then stage of excitement, then it causes a delirium state. This is 3rd state. 4th is state of coma. Now alcohol does this particular effect. So when the state of excitement, alcohol has an exothermic reaction in the body, so it generates a lot of heat because it is fermented. Anything that is fermented has Vayu more and Agni in it. Huh? So the moment it goes inside, it becomes very hot. It generates a lot of heat. So whenever it can travel because of its subtle nature of Vayu and Agni. It can travel in the blood very very fast. ठीक है? So what happens? It reaches the sense organs very fast. So whenever a person takes very little of alcohol, he feels very sort of stimulated. He feels he's working very well. ठीक है? But it doesn't stop that, because you want to work more like that, na? You're in office with meetings and all that. You feel, wow, what performance am I giving and things like that. So he wants to feel more energetic. So he thinks by taking more of that, he'll get that energy a little more. That is when his downfall starts. Okay? So it says never touch that, because it will control you. You can never control that. So the strength of the object is more than you. So you have to understand. So Shastra guides you, don't touch Madhyapan. Okay? That's it.
Is excessive greed or attachment is Vishwanga?
Same thing. No difference at all. No difference at all. Whether it is son, wife, father, mother, anything. Okay? You have to follow Dharma. Why? I told you now what is Dharma? Dharana Dharma. Excuse me, whoever came now in the last, can you please sit on this side so that I can see you? You're right behind the camera. I
There are some
am.
empty chairs here.
Ha. I will feel happy looking at you and talking. ठीक है. So,
Sir,
हाँ.
when you define sukha as coming as sort of being experienced from object or a person, but in true sense we realize that there is no sukha in any object or a person, and the anubhuti that we so-called have is also a very small glimpse of the atman and anubhuti that
No, 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 no. No, no, no.
so the sukha that we experience from the jagat,
Object, huh?
object or a person, is of a different nature.
No,
It's a sensory
no, 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 no,
nature.
no. What I'm trying to say is the sukha that you get from Jagat, from any object or a person, if it is in line with Dharma, then it will result in sukha. That sukha is nothing but that of Paramatman only.
But so there could be no sukha actually.
No. Why?
I mean, the food that we eat at one point,
What do you mean?
it is just to keep the body going. But what is the sukha
No.
experienced in, let's say,
No, 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 no. Wait. Whenever you are feeling hungry, you eat and then you feel nice. How? It leads you towards karma. It, है ना? That is sukha. That is why you eat.
so cessation of desire.
Yes,
When you were
to eat.
hungry, you wanted to eat.
Huh.
There was a desire towards eating
Huh.
to sustain the.
Correct.
So that when you eat, in the process of eating has ceased for some time.
That is
That
because.
you experience sukha.
Last
That
part.
is sukha. Cessation of a desire
Huh.
which drives you towards.
Obviously. No, there is a sequence in this particular thing.
Yeah.
Desire, then buddhi decides, then karmendriya, then there is action karma, then there is phala. Phala ends in sukha. Sukha is the last thing. Sukha is the last thing that you experience.
When she asked what is sukha,
That is the last thing. Okay? It's a sense of well-being which is in the manas. What actually happens, because everything is coming from the mind, then the buddhi decides, then the mouth asks for food, then the hand goes and grabs, then it eats, the teeth chew, the throat gulps it down, stomach digests. What are you doing? You're doing nothing actually. You know what I'm saying? The tattvic part of it, you are not doing anything. Finally, you know what happens? When it goes inside, when the entire thing is over, then it says, ah. The effect of all this culminates in sukha, a sense of well-being
of the body,
of yes of the body on the mind,
on the mind.
on the mind. Now that is sukha. Now if you
I mean, this Bharati Sukha was being, discussed in context with Dharma.
yes please.
So, I mean, and as you told, it leads to equilibrium.
Ah.
And that equilibrium has to be equilibrium at short term and long term.
Mhm.
It should not be like the example of this thing. Short term alertness and then delirium.
Yes.
So, but even in anything that if we are conditioned to that well-being feeling or whatever it is, does it not lead to, this thing, craving and doing
Correct.
more and more?
It leads to, yes, it leads to abhishwanga, more and more of craving. That is why,
There is no sukha in the world.
no, don't say that. Don't say there is no sukha in the world. If there was no sukha, people wouldn't be interacting at all. Amma, what does Brihadaranyaka say? Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Atmanastu kamaya patni priyam bhavati. Atmanastu kamaya putram priyam bhavati. Same thing, priyam bhavati. Putram priyam bhavati. Putraha priyam bhavati. Jaya priyam bhavati. So,
So, but it is fleeting and it is temporary sukha.
yes, everybody knows it is temporary sukham. Because it is temporary, you keep looking for that sukham in something else. You watch TV, 10 minutes, sukha over. 13th minute is boring. Then you go listen to music. 15 minutes, boring. Then there is variety only because of that. है ना? That is there. ठीक है. But is there no sukha? Yes, it is there. It gives you sukha temporarily also because that object is not different from Brahman. But why is it giving temporary? Because you have attached the temporary finiteness to it. So it will give you same thing. However you attach, it will give you. If you attach in the sense, if you experience Brahman in Jagat, you will have that aparimita ananda, limitless ananda. Okay? You understood? Gunjanji?
Yeah.
So, whenever...
After the sukha, only for the ananda.
Yes. It is always only sukha. Amma. Nobody aspires for ananda. That ananda, nobody aspires for. Okay? Nitinji, is lunch too?
I'm going to
Yes, please.
Brain is an organ. Brain is an organ. Brain and intelligence have anything to do together?
Yes. No, brain is one organ which has all these faculties. It shelters all these faculties, emotions, etc., intellect, and all that.
So it is the way I attach to the objects.
Yes.
I will decide.
Absolutely. You see what happens. I'll give you a very simple example. There's a child which comes to you. You hug, you cuddle, do all that, say, oh, we will say, no, your gold, your diamond, oh, ratna ho, ye ho, wo ho. Suppose the same child, probably you hurt your toe. ठीक है? You hurt your toe. You have a bandage there. Without knowing, the child came and stepped on your toe. Immediately you slap one on the child. You say, "Inna pisachi. पातन वरा कोड़ा था? देखिए नहीं आ नहीं सकते थे क्या? इतना चोट लगा हुआ है, इतना दर्द हुआ, बोलते हैं कि नहीं? हैं? अरे, the same object, the same thing was gold, god, diamond, everything 2 minutes ago. Now the same thing became a demon to you. Pisachi.
like Sangam Tattva Dhananjaya.
Sangan Tyaktva Dhananjaya for whom?
And
नहीं Sangan Tyaktva
Nirman
Dhananjaya.
Moha, Nirman Moha, Jitsanga Dosha.
All those things.
The detachment that is being, talked about
No.
from these objects and persons. So then we'll have no sukha.
No. Please understand things very clearly. Who has been told to not have Sangha? Sangan Tyaktva Dhananjaya is for whom? Are Bapre Dhananjaya for what? Who wants that now? For whom? Who is the particular artha for that particular thing? For a moksharthi. See, Sangam Tyaktva is give away all attachments is for that person who doesn't want anything except moksha. For such a person, he says give up attachments. Simply being in Grihastha Ashrama, if you say I don't want attachment, that is hypocrisy. That is not the way. That is what I am trying to tell you now. You see, when the Vedas speak, it teaches you, it in fact so much of compassion. It says, Are Baba, you don't know what is Sukha. Even materialistic Sukha, you don't know what to ask for. ठीक है? So what it says is, there is one Rudra Adhyaya in Veda in praise of Lord Shiva. You see, it teaches you what you should ask for. Because you don't know what we should ask also. We ask for something, then we start crying for it. Hai? What we do? We ask, we go to temples, get Ashtotram done, we do some Seva, get me a job with some company, Infosys.
Get me H1B visa.
H1B visa, correct. Oh, that is a beautiful example actually. I'll complete that example.
So this means Sukha is temporary.
Absolutely temporary. No doubt about it. Okay. You see, parents pray, go to all temples, they do Havan, Jap, etc. Let my child go to America. Okay. Tathastu. Somehow we'll go to America. After some time, these people will start crying again. They will start doing Jap and Havan for him to come back. He'll never come back. He will never come back. Because that is the kind of attachment, it is so intense. So it is very, very, very difficult to get detached. So what is important here is why you should learn the Veda, whoever has to learn. There is in Jagat, Bhagavan has made a vyavastha which I told you, and that vyavastha is called Varnashrama. Very, very, very important. Varnashrama vyavastha. What is Varnashrama vyavastha? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra there is one vyavastha. This vyavastha when a vyavastha has been made, you cannot decide who you are after being born. Is it possible? I will give you an example. There is a company. There are 10 managers, 25 senior managers. Just because you have been allotted the post of a manager, can you simply go and sit in the cabin of sales department as manager when you are being appointed as technical manager? You cannot simply just be, that is also manager, this is also manager. What difference does it make? So let me go and sit in the cabin of some manager in sales department. Is that possible? No, it is not possible. Depending on what I have done, what I have studied, I have been appointed manager in technical department, some R&D. I cannot simply, just because it is manager, I cannot go and sit there. The salary is the same. Salary will be the same, don't worry about it. You take home your own salary, whatever it is, whatever work you are doing, you take the salary, go and work. Be happy at home. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The sukha that you get is not different. The sukha that a beggar eats and is satisfied is not different from a king who eats and feels happy. The sukha is the same. But if I have earned 100 rupees, if I want to watch a movie, ready? 2 5.
After 5 minutes.
Perfect. According to my action, I have earned something, whether it is 500, 1000, 100 rupees. All 3 4 of us will go to a movie. The 1000 rupees fellow will buy a 500 rupee ticket, sits in the balcony. The 100 rupee fellow will buy a 30 rupee ticket, sits in the front. The movie is not different just because he has paid 500 rupees. It's the same movie. Okay? All of you enjoy to the best possible extent that you can. Just because that particular thing is empty, I cannot go and sit in that seat. No, it is not, because it has been designated for somebody else. Because they have worked for it. There is no differentiation in the hierarchy. There is no vertical hierarchy as who is best or who is less important. No, it is not. Yes.
So I understand that there is no differentiation, but
No. There is differentiation.
in terms of the work that somebody should do, but not in terms of sukha, there is no or
Correct.
there is.
Yes.
But the fact that it is not necessary that somebody who is a trader's son is a good trader. Maybe he's a good, maybe his capabilities and things are good at academics or at fighting or at doing physical labor or whatever that may be. So why restrict his movement in doing something if he's good at something else?
Okay.
Well, it's not necessary that the trader son has to be a good trader.
Okay.
So this is a very classic, criticism that we face.
Oh yes, I know
Our
that.
practices in
Oh, I'm well aware.
Gurukulas and all that.
Oh yes, I have been pounded with the same question 100 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very-
So it's an elaborate answer, which we will have post lunch. Okay. Because this chaturvarnya is a very, 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 very important thing. So I want you all to understand the way how it is, and not from our own perspectives or somebody who says something. You don't have to take it. You have to take it the way how Bhagavan Krishna has actually said. That is one. We believe he is Bhagavan himself, and similarly, if Bhagavan Shankara has written Bhashya to Bhagavad Gita, and all across the country, across the globe, it is regarded as the authentic Bhashya, then you have to simply try to understand what is said there and not understand that from my convenience point of view. Okay, let us understand. There is absolutely no disappointment or that will cause to anybody if you understand it the way how it has been there. Okay, that we will take it post lunch.
There is still 1 minute. Just one query has happened.
Yes.
When you say Sangam Tyakva, it's for
Dharma.
mumukshus. But the purpose of
Because-
coming into this life, the purpose of a jiva is only to move towards mumukshatvam.
Correct.
Then if we say that there are different norms for a person who is a mumukshu and for a person who has not yet realized that he has to be a mumukshu, isn't there a dichotomy?
No, it is not. I will tell you why. 30 seconds. You see, if you follow Dharma, if you follow the Vedic tradition as to how you should lead a life, how it has been prescribed, it will make you a mumukshu.
Yeah.
There is a particular way how you should lead a life. The most important thing is husband and wife. That is where everything starts, na? That is where the entire samsara starts, na? So, Vedic tradition teaches you from the moment of being a husband wife, there is a particular way, there is a ritual that you are taken through. You understand that, you will automatically respect your wife, not look at her as a commodity. When I say commodity, it is a very strong word.
No, that's fine. That's how.
Yes, no, it is not. You know what it says? पतिं मनोरमां देहि मनोवृत्तानुसारिणीं तारिणीं दुर्ग संसार सागरस्य कुलोद्भवम्. It gives you everything, and also he says, give me such a wife, give me such a husband who will also be instrumental in carrying forward the tradition of a family, customs, traditions, etc., etc. At the same time, let she or he be instrumental in making me cross this path of samsara towards moksha. Each individual has equal responsibility. Okay, we will take this up later. Request all of you to please go for lunch. It is already kept ready.